Everyone, you will not believe this, but tonight we have another special guest, Kelda Williams, or as the hip hop world calls her, a diva, known as Keldamuzik, a professional American artist, singer, songwriter, producer, TV host, writer, actress, and entrepreneur. You might know her hit singles, Queen for a Night and Thirsty, from her fourth studio album, Diva TV, which brought out in 2010. And Keldamuzik had international tours with R&B artists such as Lloyd, Kid Ink, and Yakir. She also had songs featured on MTV's Real World and Oxygen Channel's Bad Girls Club. Keldamuzik has an entrepreneur venture as a founder of TAMS, the world's flyest beret, which I will link the website down below at weartams.com. Kelda also is a podcast host on iHeartRadio called Diva Talk Podcast. Fantastic, everyone. You should look at that one. She's also a passionate advocate for mental health awareness and empowers women, advocates for social change, and blends music with entrepreneurship. She's been published in Sheen Magazine and FEMI Magazine and has made significant contributions in TV and film, blending entertainment and fashion. Her insights offers valuable perspectives on entrepreneurship and mental health. Welcome to the show, Kelda. Thank you so much for being here, and also wish to thank Wendy from Diggs for the opportunity to interview you. Um,
Hey, Chris, how's it going?
you're very welcome. Thank you for joining us for this wonderful interview. Really nice to meet you.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. Kelda, what inspired you to pursue a career in the entertainment industry?
I've always been one of those kids that like to jump in front of the camera and, whether we're taking pictures or videotaping or whatever, I was just always, trying to be the center of attention, the star of the show. And even when I was in elementary school, I actually was trying to become a little comedian. My teachers always found me to be pretty funny. And in second grade, my teacher, Mr. Carberry, enrolled me into some comedy competition that was happening at our school. And from there, I just remember telling myself, like, hey, I belong in front of the camera. Um, I belong in front of people. I'm entertainment, you know what I mean? So, that's when my mom started enrolling me in acting and modeling classes. And from there, I was just, learning the ropes and the fundamentals of the entertainment industry to the point where, when I was in my teens, that's when I really started taking myself seriously professionally. So, yeah, ever since I was, a kid, it just always stuck with me, and I love it.
Did you always think that when you went into drama school and acting school that you wanted to be an actor to the point where you won an Oscar or
Oh
theater
yeah.
work, maybe musical theater?
Oh yeah. I always wanted to pursue it professionally. Yes. And there's people that go to school for it, right? There's people that go to Juilliard. There's people that go to what is it, Columbia University, I think. Just all the art schools and stuff. And I wish I could have done that, but just because on paper it would look good. But nowadays, you have so many reality shows out right now. Acting skill isn't really crucial like it used to be. Now it's just about if you can, make people tune in to the next episode. If you could create drama, if you could, create just something that's gonna either enlighten people or just keep them tuned in. So luckily, we're in that kind of era right now where it's not required for you to have a bachelor's degree in fine arts or anything like that. But yes, at one point I did wanted to pursue it professionally and actually go to school and go through all the proper channels to do this professionally. Um, but music definitely took over that, which is why I started pursuing music first, and acting and hosting and being an entrepreneur. Everything else came after.
Did you have a group of girlfriends that you hung around with who you just spent time with going for coffee, sort of like a clique?
Yeah. I remember in high school, I was in a girl group called Astra. It was me and this other girl. She, I remember she was such a huge fan of Britney Spears and NSYNC and all of them. She wanted to be the Greek version of Britney Spears. And I remember her parents were pretty wealthy. So they would always let her use the Mercedes, and her and I would like go out for coffee, go out to the restaurant and brainstorm and talk about what songs we want to record and who we're going to work with and what the plan is. And so I remember she came up with the name Astra, Astra, and she said it meant something in Greek. I forgot, but we added another member to the group at the time, and I was the star of the group. I was the marketing genius behind the group. I was the writer. I was doing everything, and I just remember how difficult it was to really keep a group together, and it just made me realize to this day why a lot of groups are not together, or it makes you realize why some of your favorite um, R&B groups or pop bands are not together anymore, because eventually people have to go their own separate way.
Why do you suppose that Destiny's Child split up? Michelle Williams and Beyonce
Mhm,
Knowles. What was the reason behind that? You think because one of them, like Beyonce? Because I know that Michelle Williams, she didn't really reach the
mhm,
top of like Beyonce's status, I think.
mhm. Yeah, I when the group was built, from my understanding, from a business standpoint of view, the group was built around Beyonce, and that's actually a genius idea that her manager Matthew Knowles did, because what it was like a support group around her, because you have to think about it, coming out just straight up as a solo artist, a black female artist at the time, trying to impress the world. It was a little difficult, and building a group around her of positive, beautiful women who look just as beautiful as Beyonce and who sing just as well as Beyonce. It really just enhanced her growth as a musician, and developed her as a solo musician. So yeah, they never broke up. It was just more of it was Beyonce's time to fly from the nest, and her girls are still with her. And from what I just reading the news and stuff, she always has their backs, and she's always there for Kelly, Michelle, and always looking out for their best interests and stuff. So um I think they're a prime example of how more groups should work together. You're building together, even if it's really to push one person, but at the same time it's actually a team effort, and it's pushing everyone for the best in the future.
I like how you say that, Kelda. I really appreciate that comment. Is actually yes, and I totally believe the reason why the Bangles stayed together
Mm,
and the Go-Go's stayed together because of strong clique, the strong friendship there. But there are many groups that have broken up, like for instance, um, Noel and Liam Gallagher. They just recently reunited, but they were brothers. They didn't really like each other. They hated each other. That's why mostly when you have a sibling working with you in a group,
mhm,
there's always reasons why you don't get along. For instance, if you know about Sting and the Police, if you notice some of the concerts that Stuart Copeland plays the drums
mhm,
and Andy Summers playing the guitar and Sting was up on stage, he specifically, Stuart Copeland specifically put his cymbals in a place so he can't see Sting on stage because he didn't like him that much. So I mean, you get all that rivalry on there.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it's just it's the nature of the industry. The the music industry is typically different from any other industry, and you have to figure out formulas and methods and plans to really execute what you eventually want to happen in the long term.
that's exactly right. So, do you think you can tell us about your early experiences with talent agencies and auditions and how that went for you?
Yeah. So when it comes to showbiz, it's even more competitive because you know, people have a perception, and their perception is how they already want to see the actor. So everything is all about typecasting, or can you fit this role? It's not about who you are. It's more of, does your facial features look like the artist that I drew in my storyboard? Is your hair the way that I imagine this artist to look like? For example, the series on Netflix, Wednesday, starring Jenna Ortega. You
Mm-hmm.
know, she was built for that role. She was gonna get that role regardless because she has the looks. And then, yes, she's an amazing, talented actress, but point being is her looks fit the role. And people think, oh, well, makeup can do that, and hair and wardrobe, all that. It can, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna embody that role. But Jenna, she knows she looks like that person, and she knows she has the same character as Wednesday, and that's why she's really good at it.
Yeah. Do you think talent agencies are fair to those that go audition? Because nowadays, actors and actresses, of course, um, they don't go there in person. They always send in like an acting tape, like an audition tape.
Oh yeah, yeah. They definitely have people that send in audition tapes first, and I think that that kind of cuts that saves time because you're able to see off top if this person is worth bringing in for the next phase of the audition, and we're so lucky to have technology now to help us save time because you know before we had cell phones. We were all using computers, and computers tend to not really deliver all of the content that we need at times. And then before that, we didn't have any of that, or my parents didn't have any of that. So, if I'm getting called for an audition, we have to drive 15 to 20 miles out to the next city to actually be there in person and audition for the casting director. Whereas now you could just make a few clips of you reading a few lines, shoot it over. If they like it, hey, that's when you come in the next time.
I had several actors on the platform, and when it comes to crying and emotion, what's your take on how to cry?
You know what? You really just have to dig deep in your soul. Think of something sad that you experienced or something sad that someone else has experienced, and just put yourself in that person's shoes. Um, and then also too, as a real actor, you just know how to do things on cue because your mind tells you to, right? Or else you're not going to get this role, or else you're not going to fill this role properly. So and acting teachers, they teach you different kind of methods as well. Something that, again, that triggers you, because that's what acting's all about. It's all about being realistic. Even if you're acting as another character, if you're becoming something else, you still have to find something deep within you that could resonate with that character, and that brings out the best in that character and the actor himself.
That's very interesting. I like that. What I want to know, Kelda, how did you transition from acting to modeling? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, so I pretty much, I was acting for a while, but it was difficult for me because I had braces,
Mm.
and at that time they weren't really casting kids who had braces. It was really really hard. They just didn't know what to do with kids with braces. So eventually I started modeling and doing, well, attempted to do print work, but went to several modeling schools, and I was in a couple fashion shows on the runway. However, I wasn't the height that they're looking for, because I think the standard model needs to be at least like 5'7", and I'm 5'4", so far from 5'7". But I was doing a lot of photo shoots, and I was going on a lot of go sees, and working with different photographers, which is really important. It's just gaining that experience.
Wow. How did you come up with stationing Keldamuzik? I know you used your first name, but why music with a Z? Like, and the alias Diva. Why do you consider yourself a diva? Divas are like, they demand things, like, for instance, we know, I'm not going to give names actually, but, they demand things. Or they say,
Y-
don't look at me. I'm a famous R&B artist. I know.
right. Yeah, yeah. So with Kelda Music, the reason why I put the Z in there and the K at the end is just to separate myself from the word music. I think from a marketing standpoint, it looks cute, it looks neat, it looks different, it looks cool. And then Diva, I'm adding a different tone to Diva. Diva is more than just being someone who's stuck up or arrogant.
Hmm.
It's more of a woman who's or a man who's independent, who's free, who knows what he or she wants in life, and there's certain kind of different divas, just like you have a good witch, you have a bad witch. You have a good diva, you have a bad diva. So I'm the good kind of diva.
Well, I don't know if you can call men divas. I'm sure there's a male version of a diva. They say that the male version of a Karen is a Kevin. So, yeah.
That's funny.
Kelda, what was it like recording your first hip hop album in 2005? That was almost 20 years ago. Well, you were just a little girl.
Yeah, exactly. I know, right? uh it was definitely an experience. It was a great experience because I found a talent within myself that I didn't know I had, even though, I've been doing everything else in my life. I put myself to the test and started writing more. I used to write poetry,
Mm.
but I would never actually recite my poetry. I would always give it to somebody else
Oh.
to recite it. So when I started reciting my poetry in front of a couple of producers that I worked with, they were like, what are you doing trying to sing? You need to rap. You need to start writing more. You should start writing for other artists, and then write for yourself and put your words on wax. And from there, that's how the first album came out, Shut Up Listen. And everything has been a success since then.
So, hmm, yeah. What what do you think of, like, I've had several rappers,
Hmm.
sorry, R&B artists on my podcast because they like to be differentiated between a rapper and an R&B artist. Usher's
Hmm.
not a rapper, but Eminem's a rapper. Anyway,
Correct.
um, we had a guy by the name of Wordsmith, and he's a spoken word artist. What do you think of the
Hmm.
spoken word? You can literally take your poetry and just speak it out.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. Definitely. Spoken
what do
word
you what
is
do you think is
awesome.
better, rapping or spoken word?
I think the both are great. It just really depends on what your vibe is. Spoken word, it still has a rhythm to it, just like hip hop does. Um, Except for you're doing it without the music and production behind you. And hip hop music is with the music and production behind you. To me, they're both the same. They're both giving you a platform to express yourself, your feelings, your emotions, and also just getting your point across to the world about how you feel right now. To me, both are just, creative, talented lanes, and you just pick your vibe. Which one are you vibing more with?
I like that. I remember I joined a sing app by the name of Smool way in the beginning. It was called actually Songnify. So you
Hmm.
can literally take anything and it'll turn it into hip hop or rap. So what I did is I took that scene of Forrest Gump on the bungee saying, um,
Hmm.
"These are comfortable shoes. Life is but a box of chocolates, like." And
Hmm.
I put it through, and it started this amazing R&B rap type song. It's just amazing what it can do these days. Um,
Yeah. I mean, you
but
have so many AI apps now
yeah,
that can do that for you.
I know.
It's amazing, and you'll be
Well,
surprised what you come up with.
what do you think of AI?
I like AI to a certain extent. I think kind of like what you were referencing to, when people depend on that to make music, as an artist, I think that's the wrong idea. However, for any other reasons why you may need AI to, type an email or write a report or article or something, I think it's good use for that. So, just like the streaming industry, there's the pros, there's the cons, and you just kind of have to weigh out which one actually is more than the other so that you know how you're going to use this tool and why you're going to use this tool.
We do know about the last Beatles song "Now and Then," how they used AI to extract John Lennon's vocals from the piano. So that
No?
see, AI can be used for good. But
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I heard them, and I always say this on all my podcasts because I want people to be aware that like don't give up your voice because you could be ending up having a single out there where you're singing Bohemian Rhapsody and it's not even you. It just took your voice, right?
Right, and that's what they are doing now with the, um Tupac, right? Tupac Shakur. They're actually taking a lot of his vocals and applying it to newer artists' music, and mixing it with different genres and stuff to kind of, I don't know. It's like reinventing him a little bit through the new era of music, and again, it just really depends on who's behind that AI tool and which
Yeah.
AI tool you're using, you know what I mean, to really make it sound realistic.
Yeah. Can you share some highlights from your international tours with Lloyd, Kid Ink, and Yakir?
Yes, so when I was in Tokyo, yes, went on tour with Lloyd, who was an R&B singer signed to Murder Inc. And it was a great experience, being an independent artist, a female independent rapper, being able to tour internationally, let alone in Asia. That was my first time really traveling that far, and just the fans out there, they're so grateful and appreciative, and they love they love music. They love hip hop music. They love black music. They love urban music, and it was just such a great experience that I'll never take back.
Well, you brought it up. What is black music? I don't see the difference between any of them. It's just music. What is black music and what is white music? Is Eminem black music? Say rap music is black music, but there are white rappers. Can you explain the difference?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, good question. Black music, it just sums up all of the genres that we create as Black people. So whether it's, soul music or whether it's country music, if a Black person is singing or rapping that song, that makes it Black music, but primarily when we think about Black music, we think of R&B and hip hop, but
Hmm.
really it's just whatever Black person is creating that song, you already know they're putting their soul and their emotions into their music, and that's what makes it Black music. It's a cultural thing. As far as Eminem, yeah, he makes Black music. Even though he has lyrically, or maybe his concepts are not necessarily on topics that Black people would discuss, it still is Black music because of the music itself that he uses when recording. It's not like someone like who's Kid Rock, you know what I
Mhm.
mean, at the time, who claims he's kind of a rapper, or he used to be a rapper, but his music is not Black, right? His subject matters do not relate to the Black community. His subject matters usually relate to the white community, and the music itself is not necessarily Black music. He's using different kind of instruments and different kind of arrangements. So you already know, once you hear a certain artist, who they're catering their music to, which audience they're catering their music to. And that's the difference between, like, Eminem or Kid Rock,
Wow.
or some of these newer guys.
Wow. What's your song process for your songs Queen for a Night and Thirsty? What's the inspiration behind them?
Yeah, so Queen for a Night is based on the Cinderella story. And yeah, it's just based on the fact that a woman, for one moment, she could be special, she could be highlighted at anything, at any event, whether it's her wedding night or engagement party, promotion at a job, whatever the case may be. But she is special for that one night. And I think it's very important for every female to have that feeling and that experience. Because again, we need those mood boosters at times to make us feel wanted and to make us feel special.
Did you enjoy it? Did you
Yeah,
enjoy making
definitely.
them?
Yeah, definitely. Creating the video was pretty fun. It was a simple video production, and we used a lot of green screen in the back. But I had a couple of my friends join me in the video, and we just kind of pieced everything together. We went through a couple of different um, scenes that we filmed, but we didn't end up keeping them. We end up scrapping them. But that's what happens. When you film music videos, you're not always going to be satisfied with whatever you tape.
So is Queen for a Night you?
It is. It is every day.
So what do you like to start with, the lyrics or the melodies, or do you like struggle through the lyrics? Do you know exactly what you want to write and boom, the song is done in 5 minutes? How does that work?
No, as artists, we always have writer's block. Um, just like anyone else, a director or screenwriter. We think of certain topics or concepts, make up these characters, make up these lines, but then once you're done writing the entire song, you're just like, okay, let me go back and switch this word out. Let me switch this line out. Let's make this make a little bit more sense. Let's add more of a, I don't know, emphasis on this line. So it could take days to write a song, or it could take someone an hour,
Mm.
or it could take you a year or a couple years.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, being an artist is all about knowing what you want and not just settling for whatever you just create the first time and say, okay, here it is. You know what I mean? So it could be it could be a process for some.
That's amazing, Kelda. What did it feel like having your songs being featured on MTV's Real World and Oxygen Channel's Bad Girls Club? What was your mindset at that point?
Yeah, when it was featured, I was just happy to get my music out there. And, a lot of independent artists don't realize that music licensing and placements are the way to go when it comes to the financial standpoint of music. Because the streaming game is just ridiculous now. We're not getting paid as much, so hey,
Mm.
placements are the way to go. But I was just so happy to have my music in that pool, and it stays in current rotation on those platforms. Now it's on other platforms and on other TV film projects. So it was definitely a shocking moment. It's like, oh, hey, I'm on TV, even if it's just my vocals.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. When I read that you collaborated with Mika, he's the one that sings that. That's a very viral song about gotta be you gotta have to be red. You have to be blue. I think that's the song there, the Mika song that everyone likes to. The same guy, right? Micah. I think his name is.
So the song is called Mind Sex featuring Kafani,
Yeah.
and the girl singing on the hook, her name is Micah.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand that. Okay, I thought because Mike is a singer that sings that viral song. So, what was it like collaborating with Kafani and Micah on the single "Mind Sex"?
Oh, it was a great experience. Just hearing the vocals being produced first and just building the song around the vocals is what made it easier, especially the entire process. So it
Wow,
was a great experience.
it must been it must have felt really good to have "Mind Sex" premiere in jams for 4 consecutive weeks. Tell us about that feeling.
It was a great feeling. When you have a great PR team behind you, and people who support you, it's just like, hey, we're making this work. Where we've created the art and now we're pushing it to the masses and it's making a difference. So it was very mind blowing.
That's amazing. What is mind blowing, Kelda, is that you have your own company Tams, which is you launched your own line of berets. Can you tell us what motivated you to do that?
Yeah, I started the berets in 2020 during the pandemic, and it was just made as a piece of merchandise for my fans. I just wanted to leave them with something significant, and it was the first time a beret has been branded in the pop culture community, and it's been taking off ever since. From doing fashion shows to getting published in editorials. So
Yeah.
it's, yeah.
And you're wearing one right now.
I am.
So, Kelda, how do you balance your music career with your entrepreneurial ventures?
You know what? It's like when you do what you love, it's really not even balancing it out. It's just, okay, you have these tasks that you want to do today. You create short-term goals, long-term goals for each, and it just really takes organization skills. And if you have that, along with time management skills, you could balance out anything.
That's amazing. So, what advice do you have for aspiring artists and entrepreneurs and
Yes, stay
actors?
true to your craft and study from others, learn from others that are successful in your field, and invest in yourself. Invest time, invest money, and get others to support you and that are not trying to be like you.
Wow, thank you, Kelda. So we appreciate you sharing an incredible journey with us today, and your passion, creativity, and entrepreneurial spirit are truly inspiring. We look forward to
Thank you.
seeing what you accomplish next and wish you continued success in all your endeavors. To our audience, be sure to check out Keldamusic's latest projects and follow her on social media for updates. Until next time, keep dreaming big. Okay, Kelda, thank you so much for being on our podcast. Okay,
All
everyone, we're going
right.
to end the stream. Bye, Kelda.
Thank you. Bye.